You seals have been an amazing audience. Now say, arf, arf, arf. Say, Quinn?
You guys gotta listen to me.
Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our channel, Paws On Animation, and our segment, Paws On Netflix.
Today we're covering the animated movie, SEAL Team.
Finally, this has been one Rascals wanted to do for a very long time.
Yes.
And this movie is a fun satire of the old Special Forces type TV shows from the 60s and 70s, as it follows young SEAL Quinn as he tries to form an elite group of SEALs that defeat the sharks who have been terrorizing his home. Shark Tale.
Right? And before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell on future podcasts from one of Paws videos.
Absolutely. Now, one of the most interesting things about this movie is that it's a South African computer animated action comedy film.
Yeah. And it kind of rare you see that. So, that was actually something really, really different.
Written by Craig Cameron, directed by Greg Cameron and Kane Crodace, and the story is by Brian Cleveland, Jason Cleveland, and Wayne Thornley. So, we'll start with the cast. Stellar voice acting cast.
Yes. And hard to believe they got this ensemble together. You had J.K. Simmons, you had
Matthew Reese.
Right? You had Usher, right? Or was it
Seal? You had Seal.
Yes.
Seal.
Yes, Seal as the Seal. Seal the Seal.
Patrick Warburton.
Christian Shaw. Kate.
Charlton Copley and Dolph Lundgren.
Yes.
So the two biggest ones. Yes, Usher was in here, as well as Seal. I'm sorry. But two of the biggest surprises, well, three I should say now, were Usher, Dolph Lundgren, and Seal. Those were the biggest surprises in this movie. So this movie was made in English as well as Afrikaans with a budget of $23 million.
Wow, quite a bit for this one. And you can tell they did use quite a bit of money because they are one of these movies that actually no one really mentions that uses this mixed style animation that Spider-Verse has, because you can tell they're trying to make it like a bit of like a pulpy comic book, which is pretty fun and different to use on non-human characters. So I kind of like that they were trying to make it stand out some more.
So you found out about this movie first. How?
Well, actually it came up on Netflix itself. I had never heard about it online or anywhere else. It just happened to be one of those movies where you go to this section where you're looking for coming next week, this week, and worth the wait. And it was underneath the worth the wait section, and it sounded like such a fun idea that I had to add it. And it was actually sitting there for a while because we watched it long after it already had arrived. And we watched it during the few days when it was time for the Super Bowl. And I really ended up enjoying it. It was a really fun movie. It's actually a really great summer movie. It's something really unique. It's a satirization of those types of shows, also paying homage. And it's not to be confused with the live action drama series SEAL Team. This is totally different. It's just meant to be really funny and sort of making the name of the team literal.
Yeah. I want to clarify, when we say Usher, we don't mean the singer Usher. We mean the actor Usher, Jesse T, who was in Level Up. He's also a character in The Boys.
Yes.
A-Train, I think. He was also in the Independence Day sequel, Shaft. So he's an actor, not the singer Usher.
Right.
Because we just said Usher. So just want to clarify that. So you don't have to correct us. We know, but we just didn't clarify for you.
Right. And ended up having to rewatch the movie later on because you hadn't really seen the whole thing yet because we were trying to go back and forth between watching that and looking for the Super Bowl halftime and commercials. So he said, okay, didn't pay much attention, I'll have to rewatch it. And then finally, a long time later, over 4th of July weekend, we finally got to see it again. And I am happy to say for myself that it's just as funny as it was the first time watching it. This movie was really clever and no one gives credit for it.
It is something that if you haven't watched, you really should. There are also some extra cameos by other voice actors we won't spoil for you. But it's really a fun movie with heart. It's got a story that holds up. And there's some drama in it, and there's a little sadness. But it's all around a really good movie that you should really see. It came out in 2021, which is probably why a lot of people aren't talking about it now. It seems like once people watch movies, they move on, and we're like, oh, we love this movie, let's watch it again. But most people just move on to the next one. But this is one that, if you haven't seen, you really need to see it. I'm going to tell you one surprise guest. Sean is Matthew Mercer. He plays 2 characters.
Yes.
And that's a surprise for you. And there's some others that you're going to know from other shows that you watch that are both Western animation as well as some anime like Matthew Mercer.
Right.
So you got to watch it. There's just a long, long list of surprise guest stars, including one of Ash's voice actors.
Yes. And what you really love about it is that you can take it seriously, but not too seriously. It's not so far out of the realm of belief where you think, okay, this is a stupid idea. Who would make this?
Right.
It was just a really fun idea, a really fun concept, and they pulled it off really well. And you knew it wasn't going to be probably the greatest movie of all time or anything, or something like the Mitchells versus the Machines, but it was just a fun, really great movie that actually ended up trying harder than it needed to be. They could have easily made this something generic and boring and just, watered down, but they actually went and put in the effort to make it really fun and creative, and having all the special ops SEAL team. I thought it was a really great idea, and they really made the most out of everything they could. Kind of like with Robots, where they took advantage of the surroundings and the characters to make all these great lines and jokes and references.
And I think that's one reason they probably got so many VAs who made appearances in here. They probably got really excited reading the script, seeing the animation, and was probably like, yeah, I want to be a part of this. Because once you see it, you'll understand why it's really a special movie. And it's unfortunate that it wasn't promoted by Netflix.
Right.
It happens again. Netflix has done this, unfortunately, multiple times on multiple occasions. They're too busy promoting Cowboy Bebop live action,
One Piece
live action, and Avatar live action, and something else live action.
Anything that already exists, they promote, pretty much.
Yes, but they do not promote movies like this that are really fantastic. And they've had several that are like this.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because this is one of those movies that slipped through the cracks because, not long after it came out, it was sort of just tossed to the side in favor for other movies. And I guess there are going to be some that probably miss it or think it's not really worth the time to watch. And, with a lot of the stuff that Netflix comes out with, a lot of them are hits or misses, and unfortunately a lot of them are misses. So, on one hand, you can understand either the hesitancy to watch it or just not being interested in it, because you could even get attached to it and love it, and it's like, oh, there's no more after this, it's canceled, no sequel or something, and get really disappointed you got this invested. So, that part I can understand for some, not watching a lot of things on Netflix. But for this, regardless if it ends up having a sequel or not, it's something you really gotta see, especially in the summer. It's a really great, really fun, family-friendly movie. Aside from maybe one character that's actually eaten by sharks, they actually let the sharks eat things in here and not just continually chase them. It's actually a pretty well done, pretty clean movie, and nothing else really wrong with it that the kids can't see.
True. And it's interesting you say that because Common Sense Media recommended for ages 6 and older, saying that though it doesn't have the big name studios behind it, this movie holds its own in the animation and voice acting categories. You can't help but root for the seals, and that's very, very true.
Yes.
And it actually topped the top 10 list of most watched shows on Netflix in 5 continents and 27 countries. So there are a lot of people They know about it, but no one's talking about it, or
Right.
no one talked about it when it came out. Unfortunately,
Right. They probably just watched it, enjoyed it, and then moved on to whatever was coming next.
Now, the New York Times gave it a negative review, but pooey on them, because other than that, it seems to have gotten really great reviews, which it so well deserves.
Yes.
And the end credits are fantastic as well.
Yes. Especially when it sounds like the old TV shows, like with Chips and A-Team and stuff. It was about them fighting to save the day, and they're a team and everything. And it really does a great job of capturing those types of shows that you may have grown up with. And it's like a little love letter to those movies and still having something fun for kids to watch.
Yeah, it was similar to, I would say, a couple of shows I haven't watched myself, but having seen commercials and different things, you can figure out which ones they're referencing.
Right.
So even if you haven't watched them or grown up with them, you still can recognize them if you've seen commercials in the past.
Right.
And some of you probably have watched some of these shows. Let us know what you think in the comments below.
Right.
So this is definitely one we recommend you watch if you haven't seen it already. It's available on Netflix exclusively right now. And give it a watch. Come back and let us know what you think. You have seen SEAL Team. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Did you love it as much as we do? How did you hear about SEAL Team? And have you recommended or shared it with other people you know? If not, recommend it and share it. This movie really needs more and more love.
Yes.
And then maybe it would get a sequel. I'm not sure how they would do it because the story really wrapped up very well.
Right.
But maybe they could focus on another character that appears in the movie and then have a movie. That's the thought as well.
Right. Oh, and if you haven't already, subscribe for updates and we can visit your favorite anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Absolutely. So thank you for watching. We appreciate you so much. And thank you for joining us during this nice, awesome summer season.
Yes. So thank you so much for watching. I'm Rascal Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a toon-tastic day.
Peace.
We're gonna tail slap that stupid smile off your face.